Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much, Gerald. And thank you, everybody, for having me along here today. What an amazing building. And I'm thrilled, of course, to hear about your cycle racks and your showers. Gerald, very, very important. I would point out to you, of course, that you don't really need showers on a day like this, since nature is doing it for us. But I would point out to anybody who came here by bicycle, apart from me. Am I still the only one? I've got a long and lonely path to tread before I... Motorbike, well done. We've put you in the bus lanes. I hope you notice, and I hope you're grateful, and I hope you're taking care of vulnerable road users. Never forget, anybody who is deterred by a trifling spot of rain, that it is not raining in London 94% of the time, ladies and gentlemen. Do you get that? And in fact, it rains far more in Rome. Is that true? Not something that the Gloomadon poppers would tell you about London, is it? It rains more. And I think often we do our city down and we don't realise quite what an amazing place it is. I was just talking to my friend Gerald, I think it's called Top Table, and he was saying that it is one of the greatest cities on earth. And I mean, what's this one of? What's this one of qualification? I think it is. We have, in London, let me tell you, and this is not a fact that Mayor Bloomberg repeats, we have twice as many bookshops as New York. We have twice as many museums as Paris. We have more broadband availability, which matters quite a lot to the business community, than any other capital city on earth. We're the most green city in Europe, and in the sense that we have more electric vehicles, apart from anything else, and of course we have more green space than any other city in Europe. And we are, in addition to all that, I think we are powering out of recession. We're helping the rest of this country to power out of recession. And if you look at this building, I think this is a testimony to that. The housing market is showing signs of life, wouldn't you say? Yes, certainly there's, come on. Not too bad. Where retail is doing okay. Parts of it. Definitely. Believe me, it is. I look at the figures. The theatres, a notable barometer of the economic health of the city. 52 London theatres in the first 6 months of this year outdid last year, even though last year was a record. And here, to cap it all, we have the Peak, and what an amazing show. I was looking at the fantastic space that you've got here, Gerald. I was continuing to ask myself, what are we doing? Me and Simon Milton here. So Simon, what are we doing wasting our time in this glass spheroid on the South Bank when we could be taking up space here in this wonderful office? I do think that what this opening today shows is that if we in the public sector can get it right, then enterprise in London will get on and lead the city out of recession. And what we've got to do in City Hall, what everybody who's responsible for running your public service has got to do, is get the essentials right and avoid some elementary mistakes to keep this city competitive. And that's why I'm going to keep campaigning against, for instance, very high marginal rates of taxation, which I don't think are in the long-term interests of London. No matter, because this is not, maybe you want higher marginal taxation. I don't think they're a good thing for this city. I will campaign against pernickety rules that deter non-DOMs from coming here, that drive away talent. I'm worried about some of the points-based visa systems that we've got at the moment. And I think we've got to keep that bias in favour of enterprise in London, number one. Number two, what we've got to get right is the big infrastructure for you. The platform, the foundation, the seed bed, the flower bed. Pick your metaphor. For you to get on and develop this city and do the fantastic things that you're capable of doing. And that means that we've got to invest in our transport infrastructure, above all. And I'm thinking of the tube upgrades, which are going ahead, Crossrail, which must go ahead, which will take those two together. Crossrail will deliver a 10% increase in the rail capacity of our city. The tube upgrades will deliver a 30% increase. It is vital that we proceed with these things. It is vital that we go ahead with the Thames Tideway Tunnel, which will for the first time offer the prospect in London of a clean river, in the sense that it will. Do you know what the Thames Tideway Tunnel is? Oh dear, oh dear. I think, apart from anything else, it represents a sensational business opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. The Thames Tideway Tunnel is a vast, a super colossal cloaca maxima that is going to run underneath what we call the Talweg of the Thames all the way through London to the sea. And it is thereby going to deal for the first time with what happens when the unmentionable consequences of when the Basel jet interceptors overflow, which is a bad business for people who live around Putney and elsewhere. And about time we did that in our city, about time we had a clean river running through it. That is a fantastic prize. And these big infrastructure projects will make that difference. I might add the Olympic Games. Isn't it about time that we turned the East End of London into a place that people want to go to rather than a place that people want to leave, a place that is no longer synonymous with second base, a destination for aspirant families rather than a place that people live. We can do that if we use the Olympic budgets correctly and we get the right legacy from those investments. And look at what we've got here. Just a stunning vindication of your confidence in this area. I think it's wholly justified. We are proceeding in spite of the very real difficulties with the public finances at the moment. And as you can imagine, we're making what cuts we can. We're making substantial reductions in the Transport for London budget. We're cutting £5 billion out of it over the life of the business plan until 2017. But we are going ahead with the Victoria Station upgrade. And that will be a fantastic improvement to this neighbourhood. And this amazing project fits into it. And we are going ahead already with new trains on the Victoria Line. Has anybody used the new trains on the Victoria Line? Well, maybe they're not in yet. I definitely drove one the other day. They're absolutely beautiful. I think possibly they'll be in by Christmas. They're absolutely beautiful. And the old trains were built in 1967, which is, it's only fractionally younger than me, and they're showing considerable signs of wear and tear. And it's high time that we phase them out. If we can get these big investments right in London, I'm talking about making sure that we get the tube upgrades. It's absolutely vital we get those, and Crossrail, and all the other things that I've mentioned. Then I really think that the energy and enterprise and ingenuity of Londoners will see us through. And I look at this fantastic project. I congratulate you on it. I think the Peak offers a fantastic scope for businesses of all kinds. I've already offered. I've already pledged that. We will look at it. If Gerald cuts us a suitable deal, we will certainly look at the potential for accommodation of some of our staff here, particularly some of the unruly deputy mayors who come out here. But I think that it is a remarkable testament to the resilience and the dynamism of the London economy, and I therefore have every pleasure today in congratulating Gerald Ronson, everybody at Heron, everybody involved, everybody who's taken part in this sensational venture. I congratulate everybody who has created the Peak. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I take my cap off to the Peak by the Peak, if you see what I mean. Thank you very much for having me along.